Since touching on tarot the other day, several of you have asked me to elucidate it a bit further. So I thought I'd touch on here the most common use, the best known use to which tarot is employed. So you could say that tarot, the cards are pages of the wordless book of wisdom. If that's true, how can they help us? Well, it's best known as an oracle for divination, fortune telling. The future is not set in stone. It is fluidic. It is constantly changing as new factors and forces come into play. The purpose of consulting an oracle is summed up in the old saying, forewarned is forearmed. Divination is like looking at the weather forecast before setting out on a trip. An oracle gives us transpersonal advice. You see, say you have a problem and you go to your friends, their advice to you will be based entirely upon their own experiences of a similar situation. It will be biased, some for, some against, depending upon their experience of that situation. But an oracle's viewpoint is like a hovering hawk, seeing things that are currently out of sight at ground level. Tarot is the most sophisticated of oracles, and therefore it takes some time to learn it, but the advantage is that it can pinpoint with great accuracy. And so it's very important to understand that the future is fluidic and can be changed. Otherwise, there would be no point in consulting oracles. And we know that the wise cultures of old, they went to the oracle of Apollo at Delphi, to the oracle of Amun at Siwa. The Tibetan government in exile still consults oracles to this day. But they give transpersonal advice. After all, if you ask somebody about going on holiday to a place that they have also been to, that their reply to you will be completely dependent upon whether they had a good time or not. So it's important to understand the oracle is transpersonal, and therefore it sees the various factors. Which means, therefore, if an oracle predicts something that's a negative outcome, you don't have to endure it. You can then are able and empowered to make a decision out of character and thus do something else. Forewarned is forearmed. But tarot has a higher level meaning. It's also the picture book of the ageless wisdom. This is why a tarot card is called by the old name an arcanum, the plural arcana, meaning a deep secret wisdom. So the major cards are often called the major arcana, and the small cards, the playing deck, the minor arcana. And the beauty of tarot is that it overcomes the barriers of language by communicating through imagery, through pictures. And tarot has many uses. For transformative meditation, it's very powerful. For accessing the higher worlds, communication with angels and spirits of light, and for the ritual work of the high magic of theurgy. So when you pick up a deck of tarot cards, you are holding the universe in your hands. Why? Because the tarot cards are the leaves on the tree of life.